it's Yolz and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a topic that many girls do want to talk about, but sometimes they just don't have the right friend or the big sister to sort of have a soundboard. So not somebody necessarily who's going to give their opinion, but somebody to listen around this topic. I want to talk about virginity. I found myself in the YouTube space being sort of like the big sister, so I was just like, you know what, why not talk about it? Because majority of my life have been a virgin, so I was just like, okay, well, let's just talk about it. And also because there's obviously questions in my DMs around virginity, how to, you know, keep it and how to stay away from temptation. And this is not what the video is going to be about necessarily, but I do want to talk about, you know, the first time I had the sex talk, to the first time I had the experience or introduced in real life to like somebody going, yo, is it gonna happen, kind of thing. And then obviously getting to the details of how I remained and held on very, very tight to my virginity in varsity, because it was wild. Varsity was wild. It's gonna be very much like a story time, so I encourage you to grab a cup of tea, grab coffee, grab whatever it is that you drink, whether it's Coke, although I don't encourage people to be drinking Coke. Whatever it is that cools you down, honey, grab your cooler, chill, and yeah, let's have this girl talk that I just woke up wanting to have. For some reason I was woken up by this idea, and because I wanted to do this a long time ago, I just didn't have the urge to do it, and I didn't know why I was doing it. But now I realize that nowadays being a virgin is like being a modern day unicorn, which doesn't exist, okay? So that's why I'm going to journey with you on my journey with virginity, especially the peak of my struggle and where I felt sort of peer pressure and where I actually learned that people actually do this. I know it sounds weird, but you will hear the whole story as we get into this video. If you do enjoy it, give this video a massive thumbs up. And of course, if you want to see more of these kind of videos, these girl talks, let me know down below in the comment section with questions. It would be nice to do like a sex Q&A or like a virginity Q&A. I hope my mom's not watching this video because it's kind of weird. But then again, I'm like the big sister mom, so somebody needs this somewhere, okay? Somebody needs to, as mama, I just understand. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, I'm not sure why you haven't, but just click that subscribe button because it's absolutely free. I love you guys so much. Let's get into this video.
Hey there. It's Yolz channel.
I want to tell you guys about the first time I heard about sex. Well, technically it wasn't the first time, because as a kid, you know those games, there are those games, mommy, daddy and children. I sort of knew that like somewhere, somehow our parents do things. Again, sorry mom if you're watching this, and a child comes out. That was my basic understanding of sex, you know. And then in grade 5, I was still in Mpumalanga at this time. I actually went to Victory Park Primary School in White River. That's where I grew up. So going to grade 5, one day in class, a teacher brought these like dummies, and they basically had private parts. And she sort of explained the whole period thing, and that's where I first heard about periods. I actually didn't hear about it from home. I heard about it at school first, and then on Oprah they were talking about periods one day, and that's where my mom decided to have the talk with me. And I was just like, actually I've already learned about this at school. So after having that talk in class, my friend and I actually did a pinky promise. She was like clued up on the stuff. She was just like, yeah, I know about sex, blah blah blah. You know, my mom has spoken to me about it, and like I understand what happens in movies. That's when we need to close our eyes and stuff like that. And there we did our first pinky promise, and it was also within the time where I was first exposed to teenage pregnancy, and I had to ask the question, especially my friends, like, how did this happen? I didn't even know she had a boyfriend. Doesn't she have to have like a husband to have a child? And then people will start explaining to me that, yeah, well, some girls, and they wouldn't say some boys, which I actually still very much have a problem with. This conditioned my mind to being scared of intimacy in general, any kind, even kissing. But this quickly changed as I went into grade 7. I moved schools. I went from Victory Park to a school in Mitchell's Plain in Cape Town when I moved from Mpumalanga to Western Cape. It was almost this build-up of a declaration of saying that you're a virgin. And this continued into my high school years, where I learned that a lot of girls were very proud to be virgins. And for me, it was like normal. Like, I don't see why I would have to go to bed with you if I'm dating you, kind of thing. But needless to say, I had no man, I had no boyfriend. Getting into grade 8, getting into grade 9, getting into grade 10, I sort of had something with somebody. My first boyfriend, and I did not kiss the dude. Second boyfriend, didn't kiss the dude either, because I just didn't see, there was no moment. I was waiting for the sparks to fly. Like, I was literally that girl who was just waiting for the perfect moment, and it didn't happen. And at the time, I just got bored very quickly, and I didn't see the purpose of sort of dating somebody if you don't fully connect mentally. Like, if you're not intellectually compatible, in a sense. For me, it just, if it didn't work 2 months in or even 3 weeks in, it's over, kind of thing. And then beginning of grade 10, now this is the year I turned 16, I finally had my first kiss. I dated quite a dodgy guy. I didn't actually know he was dodgy, and that didn't work out very well. Like a week into our relationship, we kissed, and it was in private. This guy's just like, yo, like, is this it? Okay. What? I was just like, what do you mean? And then he's like it's fine, I've got protection. I was like, what? I literally jumped off of what we were sitting on, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he explicitly said, like, I mean, are we not gonna go any further than a kiss? And I was like, what? No. And I actually said, like, I'm a virgin, and this is not anything I plan on changing anytime soon. And he laughed. He actually laughed in my face and smirked, I'm a virgin. Now that I think about it, it was actually very disrespectful. But at the time, I was still like smiling and all shy, and like, you know, he was cute, and I was just like, yeah, that's just the way it is, you know, with a bit of attitude. Long story short, I found out he was actually dating somebody who was traveling in the same bus as I was to school, and she was a friend of a cousin of mine. My cousin told me that actually the girl who lives opposite our house is dating the guy you claim to be dating. Umuntu 1212 also tells me ukuthi, yeah, actually ugeli ungumathandana wami. Ugeli. This guy was brave enough to tell me like that, but he was also hinting that we can continue what we were doing. In hindsight, I feel like he thought he could get some over time and that he needed to work his magic. But then I was just like, nah, bro, I don't roll like that. And that was it. Like, my first kiss was once and once only. So I went back to my friends and I was crying, and I told them all of this. You know, we broke up, and they were like, ah, yeah, he was a bit trash, we did suspect something, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, now you tell me. And then I told them what happened. You know, when I got my first kiss, this is what the guy said. So my friends, one was older than me, and then the other one was a few years younger than me, like a couple of years younger than me. The younger one says to me, are you still a virgin? I'm like, yeah, I just told you I had my first kiss. And she's like, oh, well, I'm not. I've been friends with you for more than a year. This is the first time you tell me this? I was flabbergasted. I was shocked. And she was dating people who were older than me, and I thought to myself, she's so small. Like, it's the first thought that crossed my mind was, she is so small. How is she giving her small body to somebody else? And and I don't say this to judge anybody, but those were my thoughts at the time. And also the fear of, like, whenever I thought of intimacy, I thought you have to be naked. Like, I am not in a space. I was in high school. I am not in a position to take my clothes off in front of anybody. Like, anybody, okay? My mom maybe, but like anybody, I don't think I'd love somebody to that degree at that time. A few months later, Yolz was now getting cooler. She was getting prettier. We moved from Ilokshini to like a complex not too far from my house. Are these cool guys? Yo, they were always cool. Every time we passed there, I'm just like, yo, not great music, and it's just a vibe there. And there was this DJ who had a look at me, and I had a look at him, and I kind of liked him. But I was just like, nah, I'd never do that. Like, I'd never date a DJ. A few weeks later, we were dating. I thought the guy was really respectful. We didn't even have to discuss, you know, the virginity talk, whatever. I was just like, okay, great, guy is good. Ning ning, okay. We're kissing one day, and he's touches me, and I'm like, whoa, touching me where? Like my boob area. Okay, now here's the thing. First thought is, what the hell is he doing? But second thought is, why am I feeling these things where I actually was aroused, you know? Lord, I really hope my mom is not watching this. Mom, if you are, please turn this off. But he like touched this area, but not like I was wearing clothes and everything, but I felt something, and it was literally arousal. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is what sex probably feels like. So I stopped, because I was like, I ain't engaging in such things. And then we meet again a few weeks later, because we'd see each other like here and there. Before we broke up, I think this relationship lasted about 4 months. This was one of the longest relationships at the time. So Ukai meets me at a park in Claremont. I'm wearing my school uniform, my grote school uniform, and like I'm well behaved. And then we at the park chilling, we kiss. His friend is like maybe 2 benches away from us, but like almost behind us. And then he touches my thigh, right? But closer to my knee. So we continue kissing. He continues to move upwards, up my thigh with his hand. And I stop completely, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you touching me there? Like, this should not even be allowed. And understand that I was coming from a super conservative background. Like, my mind was sort of still conditioned, the old way of thinking of innocence. For me, in a sense, I now understand that my head was really nurtured around super conservative thoughts. I always gave people the benefit of the doubt. Even my friends, I never thought they'd engage in such things. So with him, somebody that I think is a boyfriend, that I could see a future with this guy, he's touching me inappropriately, and I'm like, nah bro, we don't do that. And he's like, why? Like, you've never been... I'm like, what do you mean? I actually didn't even know the term. So I'm like, where are your hands going? And he used the term, they are going home. I'm like, home ain't... bro, this ain't home. And I was like, flat up, hell no, that is not gonna happen. I've never heard of such a thing. So I went back to school and I chatted to my friends about it, and who are virgins, who I knew were virgins, and they were like, yeah, but that's allowed. Like, come on, no, I mean, he can at least... I'm like, hey guys, understand again that my little old innocent mind had no idea such things existed, and such lines were so blurred that I just didn't understand whether virginity meant purity of the physical and the mind. In my head, I thought that's what virginity also meant, but at the same time I didn't have a full understanding of it. But there were also lots of blurred lines. So I just stopped dating completely. And there I made the decision not to date anyone without mentioning my virginity first, and them understanding where I stand with what I have and what I'm not willing to give, and how far I am not willing to go. I wasn't willing to go any further than a kiss. That was my rule. A year later of being single, I went to the after party, a metric ball. And that's where I met my current husband, right? So at the time, I was obviously in high school, grade 11, 17 years old, or turning 17. And this guy was so much older than me. But the night I met him, because of what I thought I'd been through, yo, we're dramatic in high school, I've been through so much. I was like, guy, you too old, first of all, you in varsity. Obviously, now I understand what men want. This is not gonna happen. So first night, I was like, I really like you. You really chilled, and like, you're really cool. Totally enjoyed this whole night. I don't want the night to stop because we've spent it just talking. And I was supposed to be in the club, experiencing the club for the first time of my life, and I didn't even have that experience, but instead I was chatting to you. But I'm willing to let this moment go because I'm a virgin and I don't want to compromise my values. Oh, guys, like, girl, I've connected with you and I really dig you, even if it means dating a virgin. I am willing to do that. So we dated, no funny business, nothing like that. And to a large extent, he called me out. Like, he was the first person to go, you are naive, you are living in a bubble, this is what guys want, this is what girls do, and guys do as well. and the result sometimes is a baby, sometimes it isn't. And most people actually do this, most people who are 18 and stuff like that. But I still very much gave my friends the benefit of a doubt. You know, the following year we were in matric, more friends started losing their virginities. We had pregnancies in our grade, and it was just crazy. I just got to learn and open up my mind again to like the fact that, hey, people are babizabant. When you're busy closing your legs here, babizabant. Then myself and Rosie broke up, and part of that, which again I've never ever mentioned this, but because we are being open here, was because I wanted to journey with God, and I wanted to fully engulf myself in the Word. And his words were, I will not compete with God. So go on this journey of discovery and salvation fully and completely, without any distractions and without any temptation. So I went fully into receiving Christ as my Lord and Savior without any reservation and without anyone holding me back, in a sense, or temptations before me, you know. And he literally was the person who rooted for me from behind. And at the time, he wasn't ready for that. He had been very clear with me that that's not what he's ready for right now, although he does want to pursue a relationship with God in future, just not at that stage. But he doesn't want to stop me, because he does know what that would look like if he were to pursue it, and it would honestly mean fully committing and not having any sort of temptation. So he doesn't want to be that stumbling block in my way, you know. And I think to a large extent we didn't fully say it. To a large extent, I think a year dating somebody with no physical intimacy is a bit questionable if you're in varsity. And I'm sure his friends were also just like, but guy, you know. So now going into first year, still a virgin, still very innocent, still very like closed-minded, a bit less naive, and I attract friends who are very popular, friends who are out there, and friends who have lots of sex. Which shocked me once I found out, but at the time I didn't know. Again, I was very innocent, and I always just thought that people are similar in terms of, like, you know, the way of thinking, like me. But not everyone is like that. I loved my friends though. So we were part of the popular group, and guys would do things. First year bash, I didn't attend, mainly just because I was scared of the environment that I'd be in. I didn't drink. I never did. I never liked alcohol ever. So I just thought to myself, the first year bash is definitely not for me. So at UWC, there was at the time a radio station. It wasn't really functioning, but people were hanging out there, the cool people in a sense. And I was part of those girls. So they'd have some parties at times, and they'd go like to socials. So sometimes I'd say like, Mom, you know, something's going on at varsity, I'm gonna be back late. The things I saw, wow, it was wild. Those parties were wild. But must be in the bottle, guys. I was exposed to things where people are taking their clothes off, people are going off in the room, and it was just nasty, okay? A life that I would look outwardly, and then I'd have to go back inside my heart and be like, I don't belong here, this is not me. But then I really liked my friends, so during the day I would start like sort of talking. So during intervals and during lunch times, I'd start like asking my friends, hey, do you also indulge? Like, I wouldn't see them engaging in such, but I'd see the people around them, and then I found out, yeah, no, they're very into it, you know. And in my first year, I think I got so close to those circles that it was assumed I was one of those girls, and I hated it, you know. There was even a rumor once, because a guy walked me to the other gate, the gate that's very, very far at UWs, if you know. Well, even all the gates at UWs are far. So somebody walked me at night, and there was a rumor that that's like somewhere in the bushes, things happened there, and that's where I broke my virginity. I don't even know how people knew I was a virgin. But anyway, news spreads fast, especially if you are classed as popular. But I wasn't that popular in my head, again, because I was part of those people who are there, who are always there. I went to a party one time, the night before my accounting exam, and there was a guy I liked there. I liked him so much, but he didn't really like me back as much as I'd like to say he did, as much as I would have also liked him to. But I think I was infatuated with this guy. And we had the party and he's like, oh no, let's leave, you know, I live at Reyes, let's go chill in my room and stuff. Guys, like there's probably one girl who knows this. I don't even think my husband knows the story. But yeah, we chilled in his room and he basically implanted this idea that I could like chill until my friends come get me, you know. My friends didn't come get me, so I ended up kind of staying over, kind of being a few hours, and then I decided let me just bounce because things were getting a little bit too heated. A guy tries to kiss me and I'm like, okay, but you can't be kissing me and I don't even know where we stand. He's like, nah, let's not talk about that. Hey, he's like beating around the bush. Thank goodness he was doing that, because if he actually said he liked me, who knows what would have happened. So we kiss, and the next thing, okay, wants to go further, and I was just like, no. And for the first time in my life, I was confronted with somebody who did not understand the word no. He was literally just like, no, what do you mean no? You actually in my room. And he said things that basically were saying, girl, you placed yourself here and you knew what you came for, so come get it. And I was like, nah, bruh. He even said things like, oh my gosh, guys, don't kill me in the comment section for mentioning such things. He even said, no, you don't have to worry, nothing will hurt, my thing is really tiny, like it's not gonna be an issue. My life flashed in front of me, and that moment I remembered who I was in Christ. I got out, and never again did I put myself in a situation like that. Mind you, during this time I was still single. I had to change friends, y'all. I had to, just to preserve my mentality and my innocence. I got to learn that making love in its truest sense is not what the world takes as making love. Because otherwise you can say you're making love to all these different people, 50 different people, and none of them actually love you. The making of love in a relationship where innocence is concerned is preserving each other's purity. And that is the biggest lesson I learned in varsity. From there on out, it was so easy to hold on to my virginity. And getting back into a relationship with Lwazi and understanding that now it's no longer about me being the virgin and you not, whether you want to or not, or whether you are tempted or not. It's about you understanding that both of us, our love and our working of our love is not in the physical, but it's in the preservation of our purity together. Yes, you may be a bit naive, but these things do happen, and these are my real experiences. But take home the fact that inside your heart there's a God vacuum that can only be filled by him and him alone. And if you're trying to fill that hole with other things, excuse the pun, actually pun intended I suppose, if you are trying to fill that hole with other things, steer away from that. Steer away, especially if it's only going to leave you more broken, which it probably will if that's not what you should be doing. We all know what's right. I need not mention this. This has got nothing to do with this video. A lot of the time, some of us who've lost our virginity before marriage, a lot of guilt creeps in, a lot of resentment creeps in. God forgives, God forgives, God forgives. And always remember that, you know, if you are a virgin, good on you, hold on to it, and don't get into situations that will get you into something you will regret later. Instead, yeah, if you are in a relationship where you both preserving each other's purity, that is amazing. Keep at it, and that in its truest sense is making love. It need not be physical. It can be done through the preservation of your purity. I love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed the story time. These are my experiences, and if you do have an opinion, of course you are welcome to put them down in the comments below. This is not meant to bash anybody else, and of course my opinions are my opinions, my beliefs are my beliefs, and my values are my values. Let's keep it clean down in the comment section. Let's keep it that way. I love you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and give this video a massive thumbs up if you haven't already. I love you guys so much. Bye.